Two acting pros play father and daughter Delroy Lindo and Kerry Washington in the recent Hulu series UnPrisoned. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for Hulu's UnPrisoned. This is streaming all 8 episodes for season 1 right now. It is part of the Onyx Collective brand, which is, content made primarily by people of color, underrepresented groups on television. Hulu has a bunch of these different banners. They've got FX on Hulu. This is another one, Onyx Collective. In fact, it brought us one of the great documentaries of the last few years, Summer of Soul. But they're really just getting started. This is the first of their sitcom selections. And so you can check that out on Hulu now if you are so interested. I actually binged all 8 episodes of this show in one day. I don't usually do that, not really a big binger, but I found myself really enjoying it and had some extra time, so ended up finishing out the whole season in one day. So we'll get to what the story is about and my thoughts on it here in just a moment. But first, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got a ton of great movie and TV reviews to check out here on my channel. I try to post something new just about every day, at least 5 or 6 times a week, if nothing else. Please consider subscribing down below. Would love to have you aboard there. Or just like this video, comment on it below, or share it on your socials. All that stuff does help out the channel. So, all right, let's get to this program, UnPrisoned. This is mainly about this family, the Alexanders, whose patriarch, played by Delroy Lindo, Edwin Alexander, he has been in jail for the last 17 years, and he is trying to, sort of reconnect with his family, find his way in the free world after so many years. And his daughter, like I mentioned, Kerry Washington plays her, Paige Alexander. We've also got Jordan McIntosh as Little Paige, which is the Paige character as, like a 11-year-old girl. Paige kind of talks a lot to her inner child, so she's sort of a, not necessarily a plot point, but just sort of a recurring theme throughout the series. But we've also got Brenda Strong here, who we know from so many things, Desperate Housewives, and she played Sue Ellen Mishke on Seinfeld. But she plays Nadine, who is Edwin's on-again, off-again girlfriend, who actually took care of Paige in her formative years. And, a few other people you might recognize. But anyway, so this show is all about this family dynamic, and I really love both of these lead actors. Kerry Washington, obviously great in Scandal, but, she's done so many things over the years in film and television. And then Delroy Lindo, coming off of, 5 or maybe 6 seasons on The Good Fight. And I do think he perhaps was overlooked come Oscar season for a nomination in the Spike Lee movie The Five Bloods. So, I really enjoy both of these people. So to see them come together, play off each other, it's just great. Definitely one of the highlights of the series. I think the writing here is really good. It deals a lot with it is certainly, a comedy, but it deals a lot with, some heady topics, certainly, some, mother issues that the Paige character is going through, because she was sort of tossed around a little bit in foster care. And then, like I said, the Brenda Strong character kind of, acted as her mother for a little while. And then, of course, she's got, mad father issues, of course, as he was not necessarily there for her in some of those formative years. And then on top of that all, you've got sort of his getting out of jail after so long and getting reacclimated in the world and having to deal with his parole officer. And yeah, there's definitely some funny moments there. But there's some dramatic themes as well that I think play really, really well. And I think it helps that both of these leads are very adept at drama. And, Delroy Lindo, I guess we've seen him do some comedy before. Most of the things I think about, are kind of heavy things. But, Kerry Washington definitely has balanced both. She had a great hosting stint a couple of years ago on Saturday Night Live. So really good to see them, kind of playing off each other as they do. And it reminded me a little bit there was a recent show on Freevee that was from Greg Garcia, who did My Name is Earl and some other shows like that, about these people getting out during COVID when, the prisons were kind of overcrowded and whatever, and them getting reacclimated. That was a much more sort of silly comedic take. This is definitely more kind of, real world stuff with maybe a few sitcom flourishes and plot points thrown in. And speaking of the plot points, I can't say that the plot thread throughout all 8 episodes is necessarily surprising all that often. A couple of times maybe, but it flows though more like a kind of traditional dramedy. Whereas the Greg Garcia show, and I apologize, I can't remember the name of it right now, but that is definitely more of a sort of jokey kind, not pratfall necessarily, but just sort of like a more tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. Whereas this is definitely more down to earth, and I think that works to its advantage. I would say the biggest disadvantage of the show is that they're throwing a little too much at the Paige character. So, yes, I talked about the inner child kind of thing. She deals, with her inner child and has conversations with her pretty frequently. But in addition to that, she is a family and marriage therapist. So we see little bits and pieces of her therapy session. But she also is big on social media. She's got like this really big Instagram following, maybe TikTok too, but whatever. So it plays off as sort of a Carrie Bradshaw, Sex and the City kind of thing a little bit with like, whereas for her, she had like a column. Here it's social media stuff, but it seems like they threw a lot at this Paige character because they weren't sure what direction to take her in. I don't think she needed to be a famous therapist, or well, she's not a famous therapist, although she does do a TED Talk towards the end of the season. But I don't know that she needed to do the therapy thing and the big hit on social media, maybe one or the other. But so many shows kind of do that, oh, this person's really blown up on social media, very hot, Look, it's not that easy to blow up on social media. I think my channel's a great example of that. I've been grinding along and I have, a loyal fan base, which I appreciate, but, I have never really, broken out or anything like that. Every other show, it seems like there's somebody who's a big hit on social media. So I don't know that they necessarily needed that part of it. They use it sort of as a narrative device. I just don't know that I love that. But like, for example, there's a really great scene in, I want to say maybe episode 7, with the Delroy Lindo character and Paige's son going to this, Magic the Gathering tournament at this like game store, this card store, and that was like a really good scene, the two of them sort of having this kind of bonding moment. Really good stuff. I wish more of the season was kind of like that, but these actors certainly have elevated the material, and I think the material is pretty good on its own anyway. So that's certainly good. But yeah, I think they weren't quite sure what direction to take Paige. So they threw a lot at her, and I'm not sure all of it always works. Like the little girl playing young Paige is, a very good actress, and there's some comedic moments with that. But did we need that as well as the social media stuff and as well as, oh, she's a therapist, let's see, a little bit of her sessions? I don't know. It's a bit of a jumble there. But a lot about this show works. I do hope it gets a second season. I leave UnPrisoned with a B+, and you can check that out on Hulu right now. Stream all 8 episodes. All right, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.